Grin evilly at the GM. I say, doggone, make me whole and I will serve you. GM laughs hysterically. So you're telling me that your price for the destruction of the world is your balls? I say yes. What good is the world if I don't have balls? Hey everybody, SkyDieRay here, and I have a magic gun custom made by my artificer friend, which shoots minute meteors. I think that's really cool. Anyway, welcome to another DnDGreentext video. How are you guys doing? Having a wonderful day today. Before jumping into it, I want to quickly kind of ask you if take a moment to smash the like button. Takes a second, helps out a lot, so thanks so much for doing that. And yeah, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Anon outsmarts metagamers. You knock Victavio's hat off? He seems quite upset and demands you apologize as he dusts off his hat. You wanna kill Vasily? Roll initiative. The villagers seem quite upset that you've killed an innocent man. No, there's no trap here. No treasure in that chest. Were you expecting something else to happen, dear player? Surely you weren't reading ahead in the book. No, you're changing the adventure path. No, chugga chugga. The tale of the muscle cleric. Dumbest ever happened on a gaming table thread. B17. Be playing the first D&D 3.0 game ever. We talk 12-hour-long sessions daily. Summer and no GF. No idea how the rules work. Everything stacks with everything. Cleric decides to break the game by casting 6 bull strength spells on himself, and then everyone else also casting the same for a max of 12 times. 12 times 1d4 strength buff averaged a 50 strength. DM is pissed and describes the cleric as a mountain of meat. Decide to push it as far as it will go. Buy 10 wands from a nearby city. Craft 5 more wands with my own money playing wizard. Use everything. 750 charges plus 6 spells plus 2 leftover Bull's strength potions. Roll everything, because the DM made us do it. Cleric ends up with 1700 strength or something. Cleric's muscle mass is blocking the sun. Cord, the god of strength, becomes infinitely jealous of his own cleric's strength and decides to calm down. Challenges the cleric to an arm wrestling match. Time is midnight and the entire session is gone. DM and cleric start rolling strength against each other like assholes. Cord and muscle cleric are evenly matched. An hour passes. The god and the cleric's struggles are causing mountains to crack. The sea splits open. At this point, the guy whose house we're playing in is bored and opens his dad's liquor cabinet. Hard liquor for a bunch of teenagers. Everyone is pissed out of their minds. Their magical muscle fields grow out of control and merge. Cord and the cleric begin to run together, turn into a muscle-bound magical black hole. The event horizon expands into the magical mesh of the universe. Clerics of Cord everywhere begin to transform into enormous bodybuilding freaks. Everyone is lifting. The distortion expands outward, encompassing the totality of existence. Everything becomes muscle. The world, the distant suns, and every neighboring plane becomes a mass of shifting, bulging muscle. DM is drunk as and starts vomiting. The campaign ends. We never played with him again. So our DM dropped a recursive knight on us. So we enter a Colosseum type area, and there's some armored dude glowing green with a weird looking head mounted on a chimera. He immediately attacks and we roll initiative. Our Storm Sorcerer hits him with a lightning bolt, and for some reason 3 saves are rolled. This somehow doesn't set off our bullshitters, because our DM has been known to change stat blocks of enemies and add legendary actions to bosses to mess with us and keep things interesting. A few rounds later and he's in melee. A few blows are exchanged and a few more triple saves rolled by the enemies, and then it happens. His head tries to run away, but it didn't get far, because my healing cleric finished it off with a sacred flame. Turns out, we'd been fighting a spectator mounted on a Dullahan mounted on a chimera the entire time. Where are my testicles, Cthulhu? Bimmy, go to convention and end up in a game of Cats of Cthulhu. Get assigned a character who's a neutered house cat that specializes in spying on humans. Decide to describe him as a fluffy white pampered cat who aspires to be a mighty hunter despite never being let out of the house and is insecure about not having balls. Be not me. GM, cool scarred fighter cat, house cat who knows all about humans, and mystical cat that communes with spirits. Game starts and we get attacked by a zombie cat. Help the cool fighter cat to beat it. Later, find a pet cemetery. Turns out that lots of cats and dogs have risen from the dead. Fish bones and scales left by the grave. Mystic cat says it's the work of evil fish god Dogon. Go investigate the dogs. Get attacked by an evil octopus and get injured. Then get nabbed by animal control. Take a nap. See vision of nice cat goddess. I say, mighty cat goddess, last time I was taken to the vet, I lost bits of myself and I'm scared I'll lose more bits now. please keep me and my cat friends safe. GM tells me I can lose one of my 9 lives to be healed. Take the deal. GM says I wake up and start washing myself and notice that my wounds have healed. Ask if my balls have returned. No. Mystic Cat Player adds this moment to a list of out-of-context RPG quotes. Animal control guys hand us over to obvious cultists who take us to a mansion. Escape from cultists and go investigating. Find a secret passage to an underground ritual chamber. Humans are doing a weird chant. There are big stacks of cages of cats and dogs on either side of the room with cables of glowing energy leading to an altar. We try to interfere with the ritual, but the cool fighter cat stops us, revealing that he's actually a traitor. Try to fight him, but he's a badass. Mystic Cat manages to bite one of the cables, and then the GM takes her aside. I manage to bite the cable too, but the Mystic Cat attacks me. Turns out, the glowy energy turned her evil. She grins evilly and holds my head down in the energy. One of us, that wow. GM takes me aside, tells me that I feel the presence of Dogon, but it feels wonderful and friendly and welcoming. The house cat, who knows about humans, decides to sacrifice all of her 9 lives to stop us from turning evil. GM says we can turn good if we want. Mystic Cat decides to be good, grin evilly at the GM. I say, Dogon, make me whole and I will serve you. GM laughs hysterically. So you're telling me that your price for the destruction of the world is your balls? I say yes. What good is the world if I don't have balls? The game is completely out of time. Took longer than expected because we spent so long around. The big portal opens and monstrous things starts to emerge. The end of the world is here, but I have my balls. Totally worth it. How to become a living stampede. Be me, Gruul Anarch, background bard that just reached level 10. DM gives me a Gruul key rune, which allows me to summon a so-called Ceratops, rhinoceros statistics. Remember paladin spell, find greater steed, that lets you summon a rhinoceros. That idea.jpg. Main quirk since level 7 was to polymorph into the biggest beast I could manage and absolutely adored mammoths. Time to downscale. Sometime later. Be start of combat. Ride in on rhinoceros mount like a badass. Slap down the key rune and do some bardic inspiration and then end my turn. Next round. My big moment.mp4. Polymorph myself into a rhinoceros. I am now effectively 3 rhinos. The force of my stampede is the same as the force of my DM's facepalm. Why combining bags of holding and bags are bad? Be me, Rava, Heron-gone barbarian with a love of fighting. Be not me, DM, Solvan Primus, Solar Paladin, Alus Tagim, Turtle Artificer, and Summer, Tabaxi Rogue. Playing a 5th edition D&D Wonderland themed campaign. Has been going for 11 sessions and has been great. Last session, we found a puzzle to solve the session and also a table of pastries. Alus eats one of the pastries on one of the platters. The pastry makes him go temporarily crazy and he tries to attack the party, but we knock him out and tie him up. Back to the current session. We solve the puzzle and then it's boss fight time. The boss fight goes great, although there are some close calls, but we all survive. After the fight, we all go back and talk to some NPCs that we met last session. We decide to have a celebratory feast, and then Summer, who Rava had a not amazing relationship with so far, decided to start a food fight. And then he decides to throw one of the madness-causing pastries into Rava's mouth. The DM says it will be very difficult, but lets him try. Natural 20. Oh no. Rava decides to fight the party, and the party decides to make Summer fix this, because it's his fault, so the party comes up with the plan of having the Solvan distract me by fist fighting me while Summer tries to tie me up. In the middle of this, Alus, who has 2 bags of holding, decides to stop the fight with the threat of putting one inside the other. Before he can, however, Summer tries to tie Rava up but fails, so Alus decides to put Rava in the bag, and then he also puts Summer in the bag. This was a terrible idea because, as everyone had forgotten, Summer already had a bag of holding on him. Alus has now put one bag of holding inside another bag of holding. The session ends with the bags exploding. Afterwards, over the next couple of days, the DM and the rest of the party try to find a way to continue the story, but we cannot, and so the campaign ends. Honestly, maybe that's for the better based on, the events described in the in the story. SkyDieRay saved our lives at the end of a 3-session siege battle. Minor COS spoilers. Be me, level 10 halfling battlesmith artificer. Had SkyDieRay prepared because roleplay reasons and didn't expect to use it for something useful. 2 crows reach us saying they need help at the Vineyard. Go with the party, and we know that the Keepers of the Feathers need help. All the way there, I'm riding my Steel Defender, ritual casting SkyDieRay to write, "We are going to the Vineyard. Reunite all surviving forces to fight." I'd become part of the Order many sessions before, so I write it in secret language that only we can understand. Reach the Vineyard, and we have 8 hours to prepare for an all-out attack from corrupted druids. Raise defenses as best as we could, and unfold 3 sessions of a carnage defense against hordes and hordes of giant corrupted swamp creatures that want to destroy the Vineyard house. Literally 3 sessions fight, like 12 hours IRL, that consumed all of our resources, but somehow nobody from the party has died. Last enemy backup arrives, and we have our hands full with the enemies that are still standing, and we can't survive this. Unless 3 important members of the Keepers descend from the sky and help us fight the last battle. Barely survived, the Vineyard has been protected, and only a few NPC casualties. We saw the message in the sky, we came as fast as we could. DM told us he didn't plan to give us help, and he designed the encounter just for us, but wanted to reward the use of the spell. Happy artificer noises, and we are now level 11. That's great. That's a happy ending. That's honestly beautiful. Alright, on that note, that's it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like if you didn't, for more if you haven't already. Also, thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon, as well as YouTube episodes. Thank you so much for those. Links below if you can check them out, as well as links to the subreddit, Discord, and anything else. And yeah, that's it. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.